Hello, everybody. TikTok is getting banned. And if you didn't know, you're either brain rot free or you're already corrupted by some other social media platform. So, why is it getting banned? Well, if you ask me, what I would say is probably something that would get me labeled as woke.
Woke isn't so stupid.
But the official reason as to why TikTok is getting banned from the old head government that we all love is that TikTok has been deemed a threat to national security. Now, I think that's a stretch, so I'm going to tell you why. I mean, that's why you're here after all. But first, why is TikTok so great? We all love TikTok. Why is it so great? I started using TikTok a few years ago, and since then it's became one of my favorite apps. There's plenty to do. There's lots of great memes, lots of silly edits, some freaky live streams. You name it, they got a plethora of content. And really, that's what makes it so great. But there's also one more thing that makes it so wonderful, and that's this major shared community that we all have on TikTok. I mean, really, there's a huge sense of camaraderie, and it's just so damn fun. So it's weird to think that the government would look at that and see that as a threat to national security. At least the verbiage that they use in most of the arguments against TikTok and for banning TikTok is that China could utilize it as a sort of media manipulation weapon to pit Americans against one another by showing fake and or real news stories selectively to users. Now, I could never see the CCP doing that. Never. I mean, who in their right mind would ever ramp up news stories to instigate Americans against one another? There's no one that would do that. Oh yeah, wait. Oh yeah. Yeah, nearly every major news organization in America does that. Oh shit. I forgot about that. So if you have a working brain, you can clearly see that the reasons put forth by the government are fucking stupid. And they're full of horse shit. And they're really freaking dumb. And I really don't like that. So, you may want to know why are they really banning it? Because we clearly can see that their reasons are full of horseshit. The real reason may be more obvious than you think. Really, I think that the United States government views the capabilities of TikTok and TikTok users to be greater than something that they can control, as TikTok is a foreign nation entity. And really, I don't think it's the whole nation that is fearful of this, it's just the old fucks that run it. Because younger generations are more connected than ever, and it's by and large because of platforms like TikTok. Anyway, the government still plans to ban TikTok, really because it's easily used by millions of people to organize political movements or just anything, really. And since they cannot easily regulate it to reduce that, they want it gone. Another reason may also be because the major tech bros like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg,
Mark, give me the Zuck. I'll try my best to do it for you.
Who also own major social media platforms, are getting their asses whooped by TikTok, and so they tend to line the pockets of the government so that they can say, hey, get this banned or I'm not going to put so much money in your hands. My camera's going to die. What do I do? Oh no, I don't want to finish all this stuff. We're back. The battery died, but I charged it, and about 3 hours later, we're re-recording. Let's go. So, in response to the TikTok ban, millions of American TikTok users have responded, and explosively, might I add. And let's just say that the reaction was not quite what the government had expected, nor did the many tech bros as well. See, I believe the plan was, if they would ban TikTok, TikTok users in America would shift to other already existing American-owned platforms like Facebook, Instagram, X, the list goes on. But they were wrong, because in an act of defiance, millions of American TikTok users have instead chosen to download the app called RedNote. RedNote is similar to TikTok, more of like an Instagram, kind of a mixture of the two. But really, The important part is that it is 100% a Chinese-made and ran app. In just the last 40, 70 hours or so, RedNote has risen to the top of the charts on both Android and Apple app stores. Obviously, this is not what the American government intended. What they now have is us, users of TikTok, getting further away from American-owned corporations and kind of under the wing of more CCP-controlled material and media sites. So RedNote is entirely a Chinese social media app, and its Chinese name is Zhaohongshu. I think I pronounced that right. I learned it from Yap Dollar.
Should I tip him or should I give him my tip?
So, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Zhaohongshu, or RedNote, has some really interesting stuff I wanted to talk about with it. At least I think it's kind of interesting. Its parent company has a major contributor to it, a fellow by the name of Neil Shen. He's a Chinese billionaire, owns a whole lot of shares in a whole lot of major companies, and he's had some connections to the CCP. He at one point served as a chairman or something along those lines, I believe. But Neil Shen has something else that I thought was kind of interesting. Since he owns a major amount of shares of the parent company for RedNote, he has quite a lot of say in it. But he also has quite a lot of say in something a little more American, I must say. Neil Shen, believe it or not, is actually a chairman for the School of Business of Yale University. What the fuck? So you're telling me a Chinese billionaire who has once, at some point, served in the CCP is a chairman for one of the highest regarded schools in the States? And the government's worried about us using an app. That's the problem. That's the threat. That's the national threat, potentially. Not the Chinese billionaire CCP guy, having massive sway over a major university, probably one of the brightest universities in America. What the fuck do I know? I'm not even a college grad. I'm still an undergraduate. I wouldn't know anything. Now, I haven't used RedNote much myself, but my girlfriend has used it quite a bit, and so far she loves it. It's full of a lot of wholesome interactions with Chinese individuals, as well as sharing of cat photos. She sent a few people photos of our cats, and she's received dozens back. Really, it seems like a great platform. It's pretty nice and cute and wholesome, and it fits pretty well with a lot of people. Not to mention, there's also some really funny interactions that I've seen between her and others just in a few days since she's downloaded it. So obviously the reaction was not what the government expected, and the major news organizations who are picking up these stories now are also pretty disappointed in people's decisions to get themselves further away from American companies and just going straight to the belly of the beast with another Chinese-ran app. Places like Fox, MSNBC, CNN, all sorts of news organizations are kind of running rampant, throwing out story after story and just trying to get a hold of the situation, because I don't really think anybody could have expected this outcome from the ban. In short, the US government fucked around, and now they're finding out that younger generations really just don't give a shit about what they think would be a national security threat and whatnot. And really, can you blame them though? Because every time a major news story hits the airways, it feels like all of the major reporting agencies are just so out of touch with what people actually think. I mean, just look at what happened recently. You think that people really sure they think like that? You sure they want that? I don't know. TikTok was just honestly the better source of news for most people. It came in many forms, mostly independent, unbiased sources, which I think a lot of people need nowadays, because everybody knows that what's put out by major corporations is just full of horseshit, and it's funded by people with vetted interests and people's minds and decisions and whatnot, where they put their money, who they give their money to, who they give their vote to. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. The old heads that run the government are just too afraid to admit it at this point, because they're the ones lining their pockets. So they can play stupid all they want and ban the apps that people use to gather and communicate to millions of others across America, across the world for that matter, and it seems that we'll still find a way to fucking make it worse off for them. Alright, that's really all I got for today, folks. Did I earn your like and subscription? Please let me know. And in the comments, say something. I don't care what. Maybe mean, maybe not too mean, but let me know. All right, guys, that's all I got. I'll see you next time. Peace. Zhao Heng Shu.